Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Playa Carmen. My name is Planner Pete, and I'd like to start this video by giving a huge thank you to City Planner Plays. He promoted my last video about TOD on his channel and gave me a shout out, and it brought a lot of attention to my little series here. So I wanted to say again, big thanks to City Planner Plays, and welcome everybody. There's a lot more of you here now because of that promotion. So just wanted to say hi and welcome. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the content. I have done a number of things off screen since last time, so I wanted to give you an overview of that before we dive into what we're going to be doing in today's video. So first things first, I resubscribed to dynamic resolution. I had unsubscribed from that when I switched to render it, and it was fine just when I was playing, but I realized when I was uploading videos there was a little too many jaggies. So hopefully you'll see a cleaner, crisper view today on the city while we're zooming around. The other thing I want to do is go over to this area where you might notice some things look a little bit different over here past the downtown. So let's go over that way. First things first, you'll see it's a lot bigger. This area here is the Station District, which we developed in the last video. And let's get the game moving here. There we go. I had a number of things happening over there in the last video, which was a lot of fun. And I also built out a new area, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. But first I wanted to zoom in and show you some of the detailing that I've done and how this has improved and expanded over time. So it's primarily landscaping that's changed. So I'll go ahead and give you a brief rundown of some of that. Basically just filling in some trees in between buildings here to give it a bit more lifelike characteristic. And then also looking at this park area, expanding the vanilla tree coverage to make it look a little bit more integrated into the surrounding development. This has helped give a bit more pop to the district, a bit more life. And I've also landscaped a row of trees all along the railroad here, which has helped a lot. So I've also made an important change to the garbage processing. Remember there was an issue with the amount of garbage processing I had last time, and I had to build a couple of recycling centers over here to help with the capacity. Well, I went ahead and did the change that I mentioned and switched to waste transfer facilities and waste processing complexes. So if I come out of the overview and give you a look at what that looks like, you can see now we've got tons of garbage processing status and a much more simplified layout throughout the city. So I've got two waste processing complexes, one in Dusty Alley, the other one in this new area, Lowland, which we'll explore in just a moment here. And then I've scattered around a number of waste transfer facilities throughout the city, and I've still included just one or two recycling centers to help with the processing. Those may or may not be necessary, but I kind of like the complement, and it's for realism's sake too. You'd imagine there is recycling available in the community. So that's been a good change. Everything's balanced out very nicely and there's no capacity issues. The next place we'll go is into Lowland, the new area that I mentioned was developed. So this area is directly adjacent to Uptown and to the new downtown area, as well as the Station District, and it's right across this main north-south boulevard. I do not have a name for this road. It goes all the way down past College and down towards this shore here. So I've done some minor roadway naming, but if any of you have a good name for this main thoroughfare, please let me have it. I'd be happy to assign it to the road. So this district here is a lot of fun. So let me take you into it and show you what's happening. From a density standpoint, it transitions nicely from downtown and uptown into what I've called Lowland. And the growth here was spurred from the TOD district addition. It required more services, frankly. I needed the waste processing complex because one wasn't enough from a capacity standpoint, and I also wanted to make sure I had more goods production from an industrial standpoint. So I added that in, added a lot of different uses, and I'd like to highlight that because it's a very mixed use district. You can see all the different colors and all the different layouts, the densities, a mix of densities, including a park, and it's a really exciting little part of town. So I'm pleased with how it's turned out. I've done some landscaping here as well, but not gone crazy on the details with the landscaping and other detailing, but again, pretty pleased. So let's go take a look. You can see it's centered in the industrial area with the waste processing complex and these beautiful new industrial revolution buildings from the DLC that's come out, which look really great. I've bordered that with some commercial next to this park here, and also added a school, some other mixed use areas with commercial and office, and then some residential closer to this boulevard I'm looking for a name for. A couple of parks, and it's just a really pleasant area with jobs, with places to live, with places to work, places to go eat and drink and hang out. So I'm pretty excited about it. And then I also added this. This is the little parking structure that I've done some more detailing around. I've added a custom entrance here, entrance and exit. I've added a little access roadway here to the main entrance. And then around the back, I haven't put a connection, but I did make a path connection between these two roadways. And you can see, if I pause right here, there's a path on the back side that connects all the way through and is getting some use. And I put that in because there's a pedestrian entrance along this back wall here, and then what looks like to be an elevator bank in this corner. So it provides for a nice sense of access and integration into the community. And I just figured with the station right there and the TOD, a parking garage would be an appropriate use for people that either are coming to the cinema or want some long-term travel parking for the train station. So that's been integrated into this district. The last part that I'd like to highlight is this park here. I'll give you a tour and then we'll talk about the name. I did the landscaping in a similar aesthetic to the other park where you can see the planter beds and the palm trees around the outside. And a lot of gazebos, mostly to help level up. I was trying to get to level 4 and that's been accomplished, so happy about that. But otherwise, some landscaping, a plaza, cafe, some just basic amenities inside the park. So a pleasant place to go. You can see lots of people traveling through there, and a decent amount of activity. So I'm pleased. Very popular info booth here. Looks like this chess game must be off the charts. Quite the competition, I guess. So that's exciting to see. Anyways, let's talk about the park name now. I'll hop out of this view. You can see, just for now, I've called it Trackside Meadow because it's adjacent to the train tracks. But if any of you have a better name or something you want this park named after, let me know in the comments. We'd be happy to take your suggestion on that. So, what's next? Well, I got some really good feedback on my last video because I did not keep track of my district names. I had 2 uplands in Playa Carmen, both Dav Jack 1245 and Eric John Potvin, noticed that there was 2 uptown districts. So I retained this district here as uptown because it just feels right. And then this little district here was also uptown, and I've renamed this to Upland Square. It's up of the historic downtown, and it also is, rectangular in nature, so that was a good fit. That concludes the overview of what I did off screen. So I hope you enjoyed those changes to the city. Again, I really like the skyline and the massing of the buildings over here. It just feels right. So what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to look north across the railroad tracks. There's some exciting stuff that I've been wanting to do for a while and didn't really feel like it was the right time for yet, but I think we're there. So I did some very basic roadway development in association with this freeway interchange, but you'll notice that there's another major interchange here, and a large street that heads north and stops just shy of the railroad tracks. Well, I want to punch through the railroad tracks, make a connection between these two, and start to think about what's going to go on the north side of the tracks. So this area is our original industrial district, Dusty Alley, and there's just a strong desire for more connectivity, more expansion, and you can see the demand levels. The city is really clamoring for everything at this point. So we're going to do some of that and start to think about the supporting roadways and other districts that would go in this area, as well as plan for development in those areas and think about a new industry area we could put in this location. So let's dive in. I'd like to start by looking at my roads, and whenever I lay something out, I like to do it usually with the gravel road unless I'm pretty confident about what I want to do. So let's go ahead and get thinking through this, and in addition to the roads, I need to see what the elevation looks like, because we do want to stay a decent amount away from this, I'll call it a hill. It's a pretty good sized hill, but we want to stay a decent amount away from that on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in, and I think I'm going to start here because I need to get down and under and up. So let's plan for that. I'm going to begin, I'm going to switch away. I'm going to begin by converting this, whoa, nope, not that. I'm going to begin by converting this railroad track to a bridge segment, and that will help me prepare for, oh, that's a lot. That's kind of more than I want. Let me see if I can add I probably can't add a node. You know what? I think that'll be fine. That's going to be fine. So next up, we're going to take this back to the gravel road, and I'm actually going to plan for ground. Go to here, Control A for anarchy, go to there, and then go to here, and let's see where my nodes ended up. Probably not where I want them. Yeah, they didn't. So this node's perfect, but this node's not quite perfect. So let's take Alt and drag it down, because we really just want these on either side, just like that. And then now we gotta hold Shift on these bad boys and get some grade separation. So typically you need at least 16 to 17 feet of clearance for a roadway underneath another structure to make sure you can allow for trucks to get under there. And you need less clearance than going over train tracks usually, especially with overhead catenary like you have on this tracks, because that can be all the way up to 25, 27 feet sometimes. So the horizontal distance is generally a bit better if you go under as opposed to over, even though it can be more expensive. So we'll try and make this work. I'll start by putting it just about there, I think. That might not be enough, but you know what? We can always adjust in the future if we need to. I'm pretty happy with that. It'll widen out once we upgrade this road type, but for now, that is a decent looking grade separation. I am content. So I'm going to clear out the trees just a little bit, give myself some space to work with, and some sight distances too. We need to make sure those are in place. Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Okay. Ooh, let's move you. Yeah, put you over there. Alrighty, now where to? Well, like I said, the first thing we need to do, oh my goodness, I haven't built any fire helicopters yet, and fortunately it hasn't been catastrophic, but I do get little forest fires from time to time. Everyone's burned out without too much fanfare though, so happy to see that one seems relatively contained. Back to our road undercrossing. I'm going to take this around the corner here. I'm going to start by making a right angle road. Oh, I have a guideline. Well, that's kind of nice. Oh, but I don't have Nothing to anchor to. Okay. Let's go up here, and then I can get a right angle. Yeah. That's pretty good, because I want to turn this into a curve. I don't want this to be a grid. This is going to be a boulevard, so let's turn this into curve mode, and then come back to the road. And we should be able to get a guideline. There it is. Nice. Good curve. Good looking curve. Now, we basically want to do the same thing over here and then find a place in the middle where we can find another good sweeping curve. And that'll be our thoroughfare for this area. So back to the straight roadway type. And we'll drag it towards the hill. Go about there. Cut it over to about there, and then we'll do bulldoze once. I'm kind of well, no, we gotta do it more like that, don't we? That was what we did the other place. So let's start with this and see how it looks. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. It basically looks like the exact same thing on the other side too, which is kind of slick. Yeah, I like that. So this is going to be fairly simple then. We just draw some more straight roads. Take it to here maybe. Take it 2 more in, and then I think a curve between those two, and we'll be done. Is that 180? Looks like it. All right. There we go. Look at that. Nice. No network multi-tool required. So that is really nice. It gives us a couple of things. It gives us a nice developable area between the freeway, the main thoroughfare, and the railroad tracks. And it also gives us some space over on this side. You can see now we have access to all of this land. And, you know, I'll have to consider whether or not we want some convoluted access to the freeway over here. I'm guessing I won't, and maybe this can be sort of a residential community that won't need as much freeway access. But I am toying with the idea of what we do here in the foothills. I'm thinking the foothills could be a fun area to do some forestry. So let's actually take a look at that while we're over here. I think I need this turned on, and I'm gonna escape out, and yes, okay. So we've got a little oil, a little ag, had a bunch of oil under Dusty Alley. Yeah, I'm not too crazy about the other. You know what? I'm gonna have to give this some thought. I have to give some thought to the different industrial uses. But forestry is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. So another fire. I think I might have to get some helicopters in here. Maybe that's what I'll put in this northern area. But yeah, anyways. Definitely, if I'm going to have a forestry industry, we'll have to get the helicopters in. But I think that would be a good thing to do for now, is plan for forestry in this northern area. You have great access to the highway, you have a rail facility, and a lot of good potential. So I was thinking, too, it may make sense to put a second rail facility on this side, but then that uses up a lot of land use. And this one, you can see, is really not that busy. So if I do a contained amount of industrial development on this side, the trucks could very easily come under the tracks, cut right, and get straight into the facility. So I'm not too crazy about doing a second one at this point. What I am going to do, though, is smooth this bump out a bit, and I will use Network Multi-Tool for this. So let's just go from there to there. Oh, yeah. That's a lot better. I'm gonna have to tolerate the steep grade here. Is it really 10%? Oh god, that's such a bad grade. But it's a game, so I'm gonna leave it. All right. So what's next? Well, let's think about the rest of this district. Well, actually, you know what? Let's get this upgraded. I think it's important that we get the game sort of going here, and as far as these lanes and making sure people can prioritize this connection. So I'm just going to put a standard 4-lane road on here for now, and we can worry about upgrades and changes and other uses and trees and things like that in the future. So just give me a moment, get this upgraded. Won't take but a second. I'm really bad at dragging along roads. I don't know about all of you. I see some YouTubers and they just like drag like crazy and it's no big deal, but it is not my forte. So yeah, I'm a clicker. And that little guy, there we go. Okay, let's move this node just a smidgen, and then we should be okay. Great, that looks pretty nice. I do think, let's see, is there, yeah, of course there is. There's a light right in the middle. Don't love that, but I will, you know what? I'm gonna move this node a little bit like that. Give a, oh, and that fixed the light problem. What do you know? Let's see if those are too close. Nope, they're fine. Totally fine. Just out of curiosity, I wonder what that slope is now. Come on. There it is. 10. Okay, fine. 10's better than 11 point whatever. So, okay. Very nice. So, looking back over the entire area, I think I'm going to do some roadway layouts. So, yeah, I just want to do some very basic grid development in this area. I'm not sure if it's going to stick, but I do want to start with something. So let me take some time and put that in, and then I'll be back with you soon. Okay, so looking at this grid, I'm thinking this is about what I want to have laid out here. It's a nice distribution of roadways in between the three bounding infrastructure elements. So you can see there's a little more space on this side for another row of zoning. So I'll probably get that put in there, well, a row of grid, I mean. And then on this side, I'll probably just do connecting roadways at certain points like this, and making sure there's decent connectivity. I'm not going to go every grid, but I'm thinking, you know, something like this where it's kind of simple and makes sense, because this is, ooh, I want that though. That's, you know what, that's 4 connection points, and that's probably fine. I could do another one here if I really need to, and another one here, but I'll hold off for now. So let me add in this other back row that I think is going to be important, and I'll be right back. Okay, well, there we go. This is turning out nice. I think this is a really good area for expansion, and the nice thing is it can serve a variety of uses. It's not pre-programmed. I haven't decided what goes there, and it can really fit any of these needs that the city has for expansion, which I like. I'm gonna do some upgrading. I want to get the roads upgrade. Well, what's first? I think I'm just gonna let that be for now, and then I kind of want to do. I think I want to do the farming, or not the farming, the forestry first. I'm really kind of excited about that. But before I do, let me check and see how our population is doing. So unemployment is 3%. So that's a good thing, but it means that jobs are needed. or people are needed. I don't know. Sometimes I have trouble with this. Let's see. Jobs available, people employed. There's plenty, but the population is quite big. So I think more jobs is good, which is why there's commercial and industrial demand, because that would increase the opportunity for unemployment to go up and fill that demand, and then drive population demand, which is good because our city is shrinking a little bit. So it'd be nice to drive housing demand. And then once I get the industrial going, I can justify doing more residential zoning. So let me get some basic water pipes in here, and then we'll start thinking about where the industrial area goes. I'm not going to zone or put the pipes under the new grid, but under that main thoroughfare seems to make a lot of sense to me. All right, we've got the main trunk line in, and let's double check. Yep, the water is flowing. So let's think about our forestry, you guys. I'm really excited about this. So I think this whole little area here is going to be a forestry district. So let's do that. Let's plan for that right now. I'll go ahead and slap a new one on here. We'll start small, get our boundaries going, and say everything kind of this area and a little bigger, maybe it comes down even to here. I don't know. We'll just kind of see. No, it's not. It's going to come to like here. I'm not a big fan of overdoing districts, especially in the beginning. So I've done that before, way overbuilt a district, and it bites me in the rear. So I'm going to start at a relatively manageable size and just see how this goes. All right. We'll see how this goes. So there's my district. And you know what comes next? Trees. We need trees. So right now we don't have enough, and I want more. So let's go get some more. Here they come. So many trees. So many happy little trees. So I'll turn down the strength a bit and blend this in because I want it to feel kind of natural. You know, kind of like a little foothill forest that cropped up. I think that would make a lot of sense to have. And then the denser part is where the forestry operations started. So that looks pretty good to me. I like that a lot. And I love this brush that was done by the map author that gives you a mix of both more deciduous trees as well as palm trees. I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful combination. So I think those are deciduous trees. I'm not an arborist. So with that being done, I'm going to go ahead and clear out the trees while I've got the brush here on the grid. We will probably put some back at some point, but for now the grid can stay relatively clear of trees. The stuff by the freeway, though, that's good. Always like a nice noise buffer by the freeway. So I think now you can see that area is robust and ripe for forestry use. So let's get some basic roads in. And by basic, I mean just a simple access road that really starts here. Now, there's going to be a lot of trucks coming out of this road. This is going to be a major thoroughfare because of all the shipping. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on, but I need to allow for some queuing, so I could go, yeah, but see, I also need to allow for space behind here where we can build. I really think this is going to be quite simple. So I'm going to just do it very basic, just like that, give a little frontage road, and then this will enable our forestry district to begin developing. So what I think I'm going to start doing, let's see here. Okay, I'm just going to see how it goes. I'm not going to really overthink or overplan. I'm going to put this guy, oh, this is a little pinched. Don't tell me it doesn't fit. Come on, are you serious? Of course that fits. You know what? It's going to fit. It's gonna fit right there. Oh, look at that. I've got a forest. Autumn forest products, don't love that. So foothill timber sounds pretty good to me. And this actually, it does fit perfectly. So I'll need to put a fence back there, but that's not a problem. So did this go on the wrong road? Yeah, it did. Oh. Well then, let's just move it a little closer to this road so that it does fit. Now it looks fine. Oh, it's a little bit encroached, isn't it? There, that's good. So what did I say? Foothill timber? Come on. Ugh, this is annoying. There we go. Okay. Foothill Timber Company. Great. Wow, that's really far out. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to run a simple power line across the where I just zoned in, or where I built the district rather, the grid, so that we can get some simple power without fussing too much. And then that'll come out later, so that's temporary. And let's see, now we need to get, let's see, come on, there we go. Now we need to get some forestry use in. I think first things first, I'm going to plan for some storage. That seems prudent because that's something that you always kind of forget about and then you have to move it around. So I'm actually, I'm going to stick that, turn anarchy off. That's, oh, is this, you know what? Maybe I just need to go back one more unit and then I can stick this stuff on this side, because if I could, yeah. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Doing a little redo here. So give me a minute. We're going to go back and just go like that. And rebuild this connection. There we go. So now that's a nice little, yeah, perfect. Nice. That's nice and clean. Plenty of buffer, and this fits nice and clean as well. I could have gone one less, but that way I can put a row of trees or something and it'll look good. So I'm going to go ahead and put this right here in the middle and leave some space for more. That's not a bad use in my opinion. And you know what? No, it's fine. It's fine for now. We're just getting started. This is going to be set to balanced. That's fine. We're going to do some very simple things and start growing some trees. We'll do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to do a little bit of production. We'll do 1 and 2. And then let's get a warehouse. Put a warehouse here, just there for now. Oh, water. I might want to bring water. This is going to be planed timber. And so we'll put that there. And I'll leave it at balanced for now. So let's get the rest of the water in that we need, just to make sure all these uses can get going. Perfect. All right. Oh, look at that. You know what? I'm going to need to bob these trees, aren't I? They really don't make any sense. So I'm thinking, you know what? I think the cottonwoods would be a really good tree for this. So let's make that happen. I'm going to go ahead and bob these and get some cottonwoods in here. There we go. Oh, that looks so much better. Yeah, little cottonwood harvesting. That's beautiful. Okay, so let's do it for this guy as well. Not sure why I had to double up on it, but honestly, look at how good that looks. Rows and rows of cottonwood integrated in. This is really nice. This is really, really nice. So let's see. What am I doing here? Let's give it a minute and see if we can't get some action out of this. All right, looks pretty good. Oh, and right as I come out of the view, the overview, look at this. We've got some planed timber coming out. Let's see if it goes to the, yep, awesome. Going to the warehouse. We'll do a quick follow and say hello as it moves down the road. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Excellent. So one thing I think needs to happen here is I need to adjust my spawn points. This road is going to become very congested, and I don't know if you noticed during the time lapse, but all these trucks just stop and turn around right on the road. So we're definitely going to want to adjust that. So let me go through and take care of that really quick. Okay, great. I don't know if you noticed what I was doing on the warehouse there. I like to do warehouses a little bit more complex than my other spawn points, whereas most of them are fine to just keep everything on one, especially if it's a relatively simple use. For warehouses, since they have these little bay doors here, I really like to make one door the in and one door the out, and then put everything else over by the entrance. It just gives me the build a little bit more realism as the trucks and other vehicles drive around. So that is that. And let's see, I'm really happy with this. Foothill Timber is up to 1 star. It'll probably take a little bit to get to more, but that's just fine. And oh, here it goes. Let's see. Yeah, isn't that nice with the truck driving right inside like that? Ooh, and I didn't quite disappear, so let me pull it back just a little bit more. Let's see, these two need to go back. I'll just take them back to 7. That should be plenty. Okay, great. So what next? Well, I don't want to go crazy. That's one thing. I want to come back to this area and do some more development here later, and also think about this area for residential, because you can see now we've taken a chunk into the industrial demand, and that's a good thing. Unemployment's still 3 though, so I think there's an opportunity for us here, and I think that opportunity is going to be in this area. I think this is going to be another industrial district. And I think what I'm going to do there, I don't know if you saw that, but I was Planter Duck reaching out to say hello, make sure I'm doing all right. We had a bit of an earthquake in California. I'm based in California, and fortunately all good here. But yeah, if you're in California and you experienced the earthquake, or you experienced the tropical storm that made landfall today, I hope everyone's safe and that you're doing okay. So I think on this part of town, what I'm going to do is let me make a new district, and maybe we'll just develop this area and then call it a day. I'm going to go back up to this main thoroughfare, and if you want to name this main thoroughfare, by the way, I think I'll name it 2 different things on either side of the tracks and the highway. So feel free to chime in and let me know what you're thinking. We'll go all the way down this road to the tracks, and then just like that to the main thoroughfare, And let's see, it doesn't overlap, does it? That's nice. So I'm thinking we'll do a couple of things. You know what? I'm actually going to split it in half now that I think about it. That's all I want for the first one. Because Holy Heights, yeah, that's going to change. I'm going to do this one as forestry industry to get some more forestry use and other goods developed. And then I'll do, oh, but I need trees. I guess I'll plant some trees. And then I'll do this one as more traditional industrial with other uses. So we'll get something else going on over on this side. Okay, that looks good for now. So in the absence of having good names, let me know what you think on the naming side, but I'll just go ahead and put down, let's see, forestry industry and regular industry on the other side. This is something I haven't done in all my builds, is focus more on the industrial side. I usually do more residential areas, but you really need to make sure your supply chain and your goods are secured. So having a strong support in multiple areas of regular industry is important. That's something that I learned from Dottybot, who's a great contributor on a number of Discords and does fantastic tutorial videos. If you don't follow Dottybot, I highly recommend it. But this will be a helpful thing for me as far as the city and what its needs are. So let me put in some industrial roads to get started, and then we'll go ahead and plan out some uses and keep it really simple, and then probably call it a day. So looking at this, I think I'm going to squeeze another road in between here and the tracks. There's just an opportunity. Well, I might not be able to. Let's find out. Ooh, that's really close. I can't quite get a full road, and from a safety perspective, I could do that and then put some 3 unit on the back side. You know what? Is it parallel? Or is it going to veer? You know what? Man, that's tight. Yeah, for the main line, that's really tight. I'm tempted though, because then I get all this additional development. You know what? I think the landscaped buffer is probably what would realistically exist. And I think it's too tight. Look what I did over here. You know, there's a nice, yeah, there's more buffer on this side, and I was able to put some cottonwoods in. So I think I'm going to have to forego that roadway unless I don't go that deep. And I curtail the development a bit more. Maybe I do something like that and do a row of 2 unit behind the 4 units. That actually, you know what? I'm copacetic with that. Yeah, that looks good. That looks nice. So we can have a mix of uses here. I'm going to start with, this might seem weird, but I'm going to start with a fire station rather, and a plaza right in the middle. Gotta have fire. And oh, I almost forgot. I need one of these. Perfect. That's exciting. Glad I have that in the city now. That's really cool. Let me turn off this. Don't need the hills on anymore. Oops. Oh, that's great. Good use there. And then we'll put some fire in this area, and then we'll plan for the people that will be here with a plaza. We'll give them, let's see, 75, 125. Oh my, we want that. We definitely want that. And let's do it that way so we'll have more development potential. And look at all that coverage. That's great. Don't need much to keep an industrial area happy, but I'm going to have some offices and some other things. And you know what? Maybe the workers over here want to send some mail at some point. So let me put a post office over here too. Why not? Love the post offices. Any more of those trucks I can get going around is a good thing for me. So this is a cute little corner. Can probably think of something else to put on this corner, but not right now. So you can see these guys are clamoring for things, which means I need pipes and I need electricity. So let's get that going. All right, perfect. So what's next? Well, I think we want to do some zoning. I think we want to keep it nice and simple. And before we do that zoning, we have to assign some district uses. So on this top district, we're going to go in and make it forestry. Make sure we got it assigned there. Yep, got the forestry industry logo. That's good. And then let's also, that'll change the industry buildings. So I think we're fine there. I do have district styles plus revisited, I think it's called now. So, and I've got a bunch of different ones I've made. So I just want this to be all vanilla, and it's all going to be low res. So, and I don't think I'm going to, just industry and commercial is fine. I think I do this, oh, there goes a helicopter, that's great. I do this because I don't want anything European to pop up, and sometimes that happens. I also, well, in this area, I need the vanilla industry on, I think, because that's where the industrial uses for the forestry are. But if they aren't, we can switch it around. I've got an industrial, oh, it's evolution, not revolution, excuse me. I've got that here, and I need to keep that, excuse me. I need to keep that at bay because we're going to use it for the next one. So let's save that for now and then switch over to this grouping. And the main thing I need to do here is turn on industrial evolution. And then I'm also going to do commercial, but this is not going to be a residential area, just going to be industrial and commercial. And then we'll focus residential areas. This could be workforce housing, and this could be nicer housing, more higher quality residential development over here by the water. Excuse me, needed a sip of water there. So let's get some zoning in and watch it develop. I think that this forestry industry area on the top, we're going to just put all of that in there, and maybe we'll do commercial on the bottom side. So let's get over here and yeah, just go like this. Just put everything. Ooh, but I don't want it on, you know what? I don't want any zoning on this road, do I? Let's take that off first, because that'll be problematic. And I don't want any zoning on that road. There we go. Or this road. So this is better, just like that. And then I can landscape behind. Before I do that though, let me pause and change my fake power line configuration, because this really does need to go away. So now that this is here, yeah, those all connect. So we basically just need a power line from here to here. Perfect. Great, so that's connected. Now I can zone this in, and we can get our industrial uses populating for forestry, and that'll be fun. I like these. These are good zoned uses. This little area here will be a bit of a commercial district. So want to get somebody in here next to this guy, and all of this will be commercial. And I think all of this will be commercial too. You know what? I'm going to make the rest of this road all commercial. And actually, I think I'll make all of it commercial, because there's a lot of commercial demand. Let's do that. I don't need to do any zoning over here for now, but I do. Maybe I'll pause so we can watch more of this build in. But I do want to do this area. Oops. This area as industrial. So let's get that all zoned in and settle in right about here and see what happens. All right. We are looking really good. This area is totally developing like crazy, which is great. So, very nice to see all these developments coming in. You can see now they're clamoring for people to fill them, which probably means our unemployment has increased. No, it hasn't. I guess I guess I really don't understand that, which is fine. But the nice thing is you can see our demand for residential has gone up. So we'll definitely be addressing that soon. We can zoom in here and see what's happening, though. I think, I noticed something while this time lapse was happening is that I did not put any trees here, but it still put in forestry uses, which is really exciting. So you can see there's all these lumber companies and processing businesses, which I think just makes tons of sense. You've got forestry happening right across the street, and they're cutting down all these trees. You wouldn't need to grow trees right across the street. So I'm very happy to see that all these other uses with timber out back have filled in. And I mean, look at this thing with a smokestack and these wood products. I think they just look super cool. So they're all, single level. They don't level up, so I don't have to bother with making them historical or anything. And you can see they're getting timber delivered and leaving from Planks for Life, which is great, and going to Fine Fashions to deliver their goods. So this is really exciting. I like to see a diverse industry, and adjacent to it, the commercial has come in nicely. It's looking very vanilla, but that's to be expected. And are there people? There are some people in the little plaza sitting on the benches. That's nice. So, even some, not I mean exciting. That was an of excitement. Some good pedestrian activity on the street as well. So that's nice to see that people are walking to shops and going about their day. So this is fairly lively. I've been seeing helicopters fly around from the helicopter depot for the fire department, so that's great, and the regular industry is coming in nicely as well. So I'm pretty pleased, and overall I think this is pretty nice. So I think this is where we're going to leave it today. We've done a lot of good planning, some good development. We've expanded the limits of the city, I mean, quite a bit. Look at this. We've if you look at Dusty Alley and you look at the Lowlands area, we've basically added almost that amount of area on the other side of the tracks and the highway. So we've got a new industry going with the forestry business and supportive industries and businesses across the street from that, and some additional city services that we really needed. So I'm happy. We've got land for development ready to go for next time, and the demand to fill it. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Planner Pete, and this is Playa Carmen. Again, for those of you who are new and came via City Planner Plays, shout out. I really appreciate you all, and it's so great to have you here with me today. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.